welcome back to my channel. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that I already posted a picture of this guy, which is one of the 40 pan palettes from the Inglot Freedom System. Now only 2 of these eyeshadows are new to me. I already had all the rest, but they were all in separate 10 pan palettes, and I just wanted everything in the one palette because it's just much easier to like look at and to find stuff, and you're less likely to forget about stuff that you have or eyeshadows that you have, and it just looks so pretty. So I'm really looking forward to trying that out. So I'm going to do a look using a couple of these eyeshadows today. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but sure, we'll see how we get on as we go along. I will start on the eyes first, I think, just in case there's a wee bit of fallout, and I'll do my foundation afterwards. But I already applied a little bit of this guy, which is the, no, it's not the yellow, it's the pink Natural Radiance primer from the Prep and Prime range by MAC, which is kind of my go-to primer that I'll use under any foundation. So that's a really nice one to start off with, and I'm going to just zoom in and we'll make a start on the eyes. Well, I'm also going to be using this brush set as well by Mikasa, which is sent to me before Christmas, I think, and I've been testing it out like since then, but I haven't actually used it on videos yet, so you'll get to see how they look in action as we go along as well. So I'm going to start off with some of my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, which is my go-to under eye concealer, and pop that mainly around the darkest area of the eyes. I'll also apply some up here onto my brow bone because I kind of overplucked a little bit, and I always get a little bit red up there if I have gone a bit tweeze crazy. So just using the side of the brush, I'm patting that concealer in place, and I focus mainly on the darkest area, which is like in here in the inner corner, and then whatever's left on the brush I just kind of spread around the rest of the eye, and I do like to put a little bit over my eyelids as well. So then last week I picked up a sample of the new 24-hour Extend Eye Base by MAC, which is this kind of moussey, silicone-y eye primer, which is taken over from their other Prep and Prime eye primers, which in my opinion were just kind of crap. So I haven't actually tried this out yet. It's yeah, it feels really kind of silicone-y and a bit moussey. So I'm going to pop that straight onto the lid and try not to overdo it. It is a little bit like the Urban Decay Primer Potion, I think. Without actually putting them side by side, it does seem to be quite similar to it. So using a little eyeshadow brush, this is the E210. I'll start off and pick up this guy here, which is a lovely highlight. It's number 46. And using that 210 brush, I'm just going to press that onto the, whoa. Anyhow, I'm just going to spread that out, and this has like kind of a pink glow to it, or an iridescence to it, so it's really pretty for brightening, especially on that inner corner area where you can get a little bit dark. And then for my brow bone, I'm just going to use something totally matte, so I'll use this guy here, which is number 353, and it is one of the mattes, but as long as you have the number, that's the most important thing if you do want to order them. I'm just going to press that in place using the same brush. I will bring it down a little bit further so that it'll be a good base for the darker eyeshadows to blend over. Not that I know what colours I'm going to be using yet, but soon they'll be darker than this anyhow. Let's try this guy. This is one of my newer eyeshadows, and it's number 450. It's kind of like the eyeshadow from MUD that I was wearing in my empties video, but we'll pick that up anyhow and pat it in place. So it's just that gorgeous kind of maroony colour. It's it does remind me of that Marsala colour that is the Pantone colour of 2015. So it's like that slightly maroony, browned red colour, if that makes any sense. So anyone who's scared of red eyeshadow might want to give this a miss, but I think it's such a pretty colour, and it is amazing with green eyes because of course it's going to make them pop, which is an expression I kind of hate, but it's really going to, you know, bring out the green because they are complementary. And then next I'm going to go into this guy here, which is number 474, which is of course like a really bright yellow, and I'm going to just apply some of that there onto the inner corner. So I won't be bringing it as far towards the nose as the first iridescent colour I used. It'll be more of a transition colour between the highlight and the maroon. Okay, so moving on to the kind of crease brush, which is this guy here, and it's number E300, which is like a dome-shaped pencil brush. I'll pop my brush into this guy here, which is like a salmon pink, and it's number 361, I think. So I'll pick up a little bit of that and just start running it over the crease, so it'll be essentially a transition colour, and then I'll pick a darker colour in a sec. And then cleaning off the 210 brush again, which is that first eyeshadow brush, I'm going to use the tip of the brush to pick up that same kind of corally colour and apply it underneath the lower lash line. And then I think I'll go into this guy next, which is number 452, and I'll first pick it up on the dome-shaped brush, number 300, on the tip of that brush, and start working it into the outer corner and a little bit into the crease. I'm just tipping my head back so the crease is a little bit more exposed, and I'm more likely to get it in the crease rather than up on the upper lid. I'm just going to clean off that brush a little bit and then go around the edge of that eyeshadow to diffuse it a little bit. And moving on to this wee angle brush, which is the E100. I'm just going to go into that same 452 shadow and apply that underneath the lower lash line. I'm actually really far away from my mirror here, so I hope I'm applying these okay. I'm going to lightly dip my brush back into the coral colour, which was number 361, and run it again just around that edge. And it's pulled quite far out towards the outer corner, or past the outer corner, which I quite like, particularly for my eye shape. And it's good for anyone with close set eyes to kind of bring your eyeshadow out a little bit further anyhow, because it'll help make them appear a little bit more wide set if that's what you're going for. And then quickly, before finishing the eyeshadow, I'm just going to apply a little bit more of that yellow there in the inner corner, because I think I lost some of it with the blending. And I think that's all I'm going to do with the eyeshadow. So next I'm going to pop some of MAC's Smoulder Kohl pencil onto the waterline. And I'll apply it onto the top line as well. I think rather than applying eyeliner, I'm just actually going to go back into the Inglot palette quickly, and using that little E100 brush, I'm going to go into the matte black, which is number 391. I'm literally just going to lightly define that outer half of my upper lash line. I'm not going to wing it or anything, I literally just want to darken it a little bit. And also put a tiny bit of it onto the outer, let's say, third or so of the lower lash line, keeping it really close up to the lashes. And then for mascara, I'm going to use the black Double Wear mascara by Estée Lauder, which I forgot I owned, but I found again when I was reorganising my makeup. So I'm focusing that on the outer half of my eyes, pulling the lashes out towards my temples, and just do the same on the bottom lash line, where I just really focus on the outer half and again pull the lashes out towards the outer corner. And I think that mascara is gone a wee bit clumpy, but I'll learn to live with it. So next I'm going to apply some of that Dior Star foundation that I got the sample of using the F200 brush by Mikasa, which is their stipple brush. I'm just going to quickly apply that all over, and then I'll just reapply any concealer as well that I need. And that brush is actually shedding on me a wee bit, so if that happens, just use a clean mascara wand and that'll take off the bristles from your face without actually moving the makeup. And then using the F10 10 kind of angled face brush, I'm going to apply some of my NYX Stay Matte but Not Flat powder foundation, but I'm just not going to go too heavy with it. There is a powder brush with this, but it kind of terrifies me. It's the F100. Any brush that size is just, it's just huge. I don't usually use brushes that big on my face. It'd be a lovely body brush though. I think I don't use that for the body. So I'm going to apply this all over my base. Then for my eyebrows, I'm going to use my eyebrow stylist in the Brown Eyed Peas colour by Catrice, and I'm going to use the spoolie to brush through my quite thin brows at the moment, but I can thicken them up with a bit of pencil. And then I'm going to start on the base line, and I like to get that pretty defined first, and then I'll just fill in the rest of the brows. And then to put a little bit of life back into my ghostly white complexion, I'm going to use this Sculpting powder by Inglot in number 505 and using that same 110 brush. I'll start there around the cheek area, and I'm going to bring it up along my hairline as well, because I always think my forehead looks huge when I have my hair pinned back like this, so this will just help minimise the look of that a little bit. Make sure you blend it well into the rest of the foundation. And I don't want to go too colourful on the cheeks just because of the eyes, so I'm going to use this Fusion blush again by Illuminate. It's the Blush and Illuminator number 204. So there's your blush and your highlight. So I'm going to pat that onto my cheeks. Bring it up towards the temple. So I tend to like almost tap this on in like a downward motion. And I don't like to go like too overly heavy with blush. And then I'll go into the highlight and then pop that there along the very top of the cheekbones. I'm also just going to lightly contour around the edge or the end of my nose using that same Sculpting powder by Inglot. And then for my lips, I'm going to use MAC's Boldly Bare Lip Pencil, which needs a top. I'll fill in the entire lip and then just do the outline with it. With earthy tones for the lips, I'm going to use this gorgeous matte lipstick by NYX, and it's in the colour Butter, I think it's Butter. Yeah, Butter. And I think that is it for the look, so I'll just zoom out and we'll see how everything looks. Yeah, so that's it for the makeup, guys. I hope you like it. Like I said, I was just messing around. I didn't really know what I was going to go for, but I really like this. It's kind of a grungy look and it's not too fiddly or too like overdone. So it's very earthy tones. It does really remind me of that Marsala colour that is in this year. So I will leave a full list of products below as usual and on the blog and all that kind of stuff. In regards to the brushes, I really like all the brushes except for this guy. I hadn't actually used many of the face brushes yet. I had used this foundation brush because my skin is drier at the moment, and I like these because they don't raise flakes. This is my first time using this one because I don't generally use these kind of brushes on my face for foundation, and it did shed a buttload, so I'm not sure if that's because it was its first use, because I did give them a wash when I got them, so I'll have to use it a few more times to see how we get on. The rest of the brushes though are lovely. So yeah, I hope you like this, guys. I'll see you all in my next video and take care. Bye. Slán.